So we are streaming on YouTube for those who need to join us that way.
Kendall, can you also make Karina, the Light Queen, a co-host?
Yes, we'll do.
Woman.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Maritza. Oh, so good to see people's faces.
So let's go ahead and get started. Alexis, I had the pleasure of being on your committee and working with you over the years, and I'm really excited for this reading. Welcome everyone to the W and to Alexis Jemal's thesis reading. Yeah, Alexis, I'll let you introduce your project, and I know you have a bunch of readers, so just get us started off, and I'm really excited for this.
Sure. Thank you, Mary. Hello, everybody. I want to extend a warm welcome to you all. Thank you for coming. I'd like to thank my thesis committee, my thesis advisor, Beth Kander Dauphin, T. Chris Lee, and Mary Miller for their support. I'd like to thank all my professors that played a major role in getting me to this point. And thank you, Dr. Dunkelberg, for accepting me into this MFA program. Um, and of course, thank you all for being here and to witness and celebrate a childhood passion and dream come true. So I will introduce myself and the thesis and say a little bit about my journey. And then I have some very generous friends and family who will help me read snippets from my thesis and then hope we'll have time for questions if there are any. So, and we may not get through all the scenes that we have planned, but that's okay. So here's a little bit about me and my journey to this point. With an educational and professional background in social work, law, education, and theater, I identify as a critical radical social worker, educator, artivist, and public scholar. My work focuses on developing biopsychosocial cultural wellness interventions for people with marginalized identities, especially Black girls and women, healing from intergenerational misogynoir based traumatic stress. Misogynoir is the intersection of racism and sexism. So, alongside this, I have been a creative writer for as long as I can remember. For most of my life, I believed my creative writing and my professional interests occupied separate worlds. And I feared letting them collide. But over the past few years, I have learned that my personal life, my profession, my politics, and my passions are not separate spheres, but are really overlapping circles. So at first, I started writing academic papers using my creative writing style and voice. But then last year, I published an academic paper titled Time and Place for Counter Storytelling as Liberatory Theory and Collective Healing Practice in Academia, a case example of a Black feminist psychosociocultural scholar artivist. Very long title. But in this paper, I explored internalized oppression and I included a story that I wrote when I was 15 years old. That story was called The Birthday Wish for Good Hair, which is about the experience of internalizing white beauty standards for Black people's hair. In September 2025, a few months ago, I received an email from the journal that published that paper, stating that that paper had received 1,838 reads since its publication in 2024. So to put that in perspective, I'm happy when 10 people read my papers. And as of December, just actually today I looked it up, it's received 2,391 reads and was cited twice. So my most cited paper, published in 2017, has been cited 616 times, mostly by me, but I don't think it's received as many views in a similar amount of time as my counter storytelling paper. And I think that shows the power of storytelling, especially when trying to communicate about harm and healing from dehumanization. I also use this story about hair as my writing sample in my application for this MFA program. And now it is the core of my thesis. So it seems very relevant that the story that got me into this program should be the story that takes me home. So this MFA thesis represents the collision and the merging of my academic interests, lived experiences, and creative writing. And for our time together, we'll mainly be reading snippets from scenes of episodes 1 and 2. Mira is the main character, but these snippets focus more heavily on Sela, Mira's mother. Since this is about intergenerational trauma and healing, Sela's story and the relationship between Sela and Mira are major components of Mira's story. The first snippet that we'll read is from episode 1, scene 3. It is the birthday wish for good hair, the very story that started it all 29 years ago. So it's 1991. Mira is 10 years old in the scene, and she just had a birthday party with her two favorite cousins. She compares herself to her cousins, especially the length and texture of her hair. Comparatively, her cousins have good hair, quote unquote, good hair, and that it's long and straight, whereas Mira's hair has a very tight curl and is short. We enter the scene in the middle of the night. Mama will be played by Brenda Jemal, who is my mother. And Mira, at 10 years old, would be played by me. And I just want to give a little bit of a warning that please prepare your hearts, because this is, I find, a painful experience for a 10-year-old person. And I will do my best to hold it together. So, Mama, you turn on your camera and we're ready. Are we having technical difficulties? Until we find out what's going on, Aunt Sheila, would you read for Mama?
I'm also available to read if you need.
Thank you. Yes. All right. Well, oh, there we are. Okay. Can you unmute? There you
Yeah,
go.
so I keep getting a message that the host has disabled my camera and
Oh,
disabled my mute, so I couldn't turn it on.
oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so I don't know
My
what. Okay.
apologies. I didn't
Oh,
realize
that's
that was a side effect.
okay.
All right.
All
Ready?
right. That
Go.
night, when everyone is asleep, Mira lays on her back, staring at her glow in the dark universe plastered on her ceiling. There's always a shooting star ready to make wishes come true. With the skill of a night predator, she artfully maneuvers her way from between her two sleeping cousins. She opens the door and peers into the hallway, lit only by two small night lights. With cat-like steps, Mira tiptoes through the hallway to the full-length sized mirror. She sits down on the carpeted floor with crossed legs and glares into her own eyes. She watches her eyes stare her down, search her soul, and uncover hidden secrets. Mirrors fascinate her. She believes the person in the mirror is not a reflection, but her twin, trapped in another dimension. Occasionally, Mira asks Sela where her imprisoned twin is and can they save her. Sela only usually ignore Mira's questions. Now, leaning her body against the mirror with her palms pushed flat to match her reflection, is the closet is the closest Mira comes to hugging her twin or loving herself. Mira names her mirror twin Willow. Mira loves to test Willow by slowly turning her head one way and then turning back fast to catch Willow looking away. That never works. Willow watches and follows Mira's every move.
Come on, Willow. I won't hurt you. Talk to me.
Mira tries to coax Willow with the most encouraging words to speak to her, but Willow holds her tongue. Aggravated and tired, Mira can no longer run from the question gnawing on her thoughts. She tries not to let it bother her, but she has to know the truth. She slowly begins to reach her hands to her ponytails.
Dookie braids. I don't have dookie braids.
She entwines her fingers into her thick black hair and gently begins to pull the pieces apart. She remembers Cleo when she uncoiled her braids.
All Cleo had to do was pull one link in the chain, and the braid untwined itself.
Mira pulls the first chains apart and then removes her hands quickly. She glares at Willow's hair, hoping to see the same chain reaction that Cleo's hair had accomplished earlier. Somehow, defying gravity, the braid remains like an outstretched index finger admonishing a small child. Mira continues to stare.
It must need a little more time.
Mira waits a few more seconds, but the braid makes no attempt to unravel. It stands there, holding its ground ready for battle. Mira gently takes her finger to pokes it, but the braid indents and keeps its new form like clay. Frustrated and on the verge of anger, Mira swipes the braid with all her might. The braid bends down across her scalp, pops up erect, and repositions itself on its throne. The braid is the epitome of selfish pride and intense dignity. Mira's bottom lip begins to quiver, and her eyes burn with the threat of tears. She yanks the braid apart and tries to pull it down past her shoulder, but it cannot reach. Mira pulls as hard as she can, and at times it reaches, but when she lets go, it curls back up to her ears. She needs help. She quickly runs to the hall bathroom and grabs a comb from the drawer filled with many types of hair utensils. Some look to be from a distant world that Mira assumes have alien powers. She grabs the one that looks the most magical. The comb is silver colored. The teeth are spread long along the eagle's wings, taking the place of the primary feathers. Embedded in the eagle's neck is a blue azurite gemstone. The eagle's head looks to the left as if waiting for someone to return. As she exits, she glances to her right through the bay window at a moonless night, perfect for wish making. When she returns to the mirror, Willow is armed with the same magical comb, the key to unlocking the beauty trapped within. Eagerly and with hopeful expressions, Willow and Mira valiantly attempt to initiate the hair combing sequence. A thick briar patch of curls renders the comb useless. Mira can barely feel the comb's presence. The comb glides over the top layer, leaving the bottom curls untouched and safe. Mira grabs the comb tighter, pushes it in her hair as far as it will go, and yanks with all her might. She rips through her hair as a tidal wave of emotion surges in her soul and ripples through her body. With each pull, she feels and hears the strands of hair snapping. It hurts, but she does not stop.
I hate my hair. Why did I have to be born with this hair? I don't want it. I hate it. It's so ugly. It's so ugly.
She looks in the mirror and watches Willow's fury explode. Mira pulls, she yanks, she tugs.
Why can't it be straight?
She forces her words through clenched teeth. Finally, her arm tires and falls in her lap. The comb remains wedged between the tight, thick curls. She raises her eyes and finds Willow staring at her. In Willow's eyes, Mira finds no comfort, only a look of mutual hate. Her hair is a mess. It's tangled and going in every direction. She stares at the abused, unmagical comb hiding in her tangled web. She grabs it, yanks it out. The comb's teeth have bitten off more than they can chew and are full of ripped hair. She throws it across the room. It hits the wall and breaks in half.
Oh no, that's my mommy's favorite comb.
Out pours her tears. She falls forward and leans her wet cheeks against the mirror. Her chest heaves with each muffled sob, and with every broken breath, she tells herself,
I am so ugly. I hate myself.
she stares in the mirror and watches her eyes redden and her lips curl down.
I am so ugly.
She cries until her stomach hurts. She cries until she can't breathe. She cries until she makes no noise. She cries until she has no more tears, and then she cries herself to sleep on the floor. Ungranted wishes exposed to all, Willow watches and weeps with her.
End scene. Thank you. So it took me 28 years to figure out how to get Mira, who's had several name changes at this point, to go into the mirror. But once I got her in there, the story came alive. Here's the synopsis for Mira's Mirror Story, which is the name of my thesis. Mira's Mirror, no, sorry, Mira's, I don't even know the name of my thing. Mira's Mirror Mystery. There we go. So here's the synopsis. My thesis centers on a speculative narrative about Mira, a Black girl drawn into Roram, the mirror world, where her foremothers' shadows were bound and their voices silenced. In this fractured lineage, where myth and memory blur and intertwine, Mira discovers that each reflection carries the weight of ancestral grief, and that she herself may be a reflection who escaped her own imprisonment. Traversing a dreamscape shaped by African diasporic cosmologies and the psychic residue of generational trauma, she must piece together the stories of her mother, grandmother, and the dark queen who birthed their curse. As Mira faces the dimming of her own inner light, she learns that liberation is not escape, but integration, the healing of shadow, inner child, and spirit into a single coherent self. Part myth and part psychological odyssey, this project explores what it means to remember, to belong, and to become whole. It is deeply psycho-spiritual, with its true climax rooted in the transformation of consciousness. Yet, the transformation is never purely individual. It gestures toward collective healing of lineage, community, and the inherited wounds that shape us. This is the heart of my work, ritual fiction, stories crafted not only to captivate, but also to serve as pathways for healing. In this 5-episodic audio drama play book hybrid, the podcast format invites the listening audience to go on Mira's journey, imagining the action between the lines of the script. Each episode has 3 to 5 scenes and highlights mainstream and original songs, which we won't be hearing today, reimagined fairy tales, particularly Red Riding Hood, features memories from Mira's childhood, and has recurring motifs. My daughter, Brendan, who you'll hear from a little bit later, has said that this story will sound like a professor wrote it. My friend Karen reminded me that I am a professor. And although she's 100% correct, I don't want it to sound like a professor wrote it. So I'm still trying to find that edutainment balance where it is educational and also accessible through its ability to entertain. The second snippet we'll read for you this evening is my attempt at integrating research, specifically the 1947 Clark and Clark doll study, integrating that study with the spirit of lived experience and creative writing. So really quickly, the Clark and Clark doll study was conducted by these 2 Black psychologists with young Black children. They presented each child with a Black baby doll and a white baby doll. And they asked the kids to choose the pretty doll, the ugly doll, the good doll, the bad doll, etc. And nearly 100% of them, 100% of the time, attributed the positive characteristics to the white doll and the negative characteristics to the Black doll. And this was demonstrating kind of internalized oppression for these children at a very young age, like 4 or 5 years old. And for this scene, Mama will be Aunt Sheila, and Sela will be Christina, and Mira, who is almost 4 years old, will be Brendan. Okay, and action.
Sela carries the boombox while Mira skips and dances down the street, singing and laughing for their Saturday afternoon walk. They often exercise together. Sometimes Mira rides her bike while Sela jogs alongside her to the park, around the park, and back home again. But today they only have time for a short walk because they have to prepare for Mira's fourth birthday party. Her beautiful cousins, Leo, Cleo, and Neff, with fair skin and good long hair, are coming to town with their mother, Sydney, Sela's best friend and cousin, to help her celebrate as they do every year. This year is special because Mira receives three real-life look-alike baby dolls as gifts. Sela takes her to the biggest toy store in the area and lets Mira choose her baby doll from the multiple aisles with numerous shelves filled to the edges with cooing, mostly white baby dolls dressed in onesies to formal attire.
Okay, Mira, which one do you want?
Mira is a very energetic and enthusiastic child. Sela jokes that Mira extracts energy from the streetlights as they always seem to burn out when she's around.
I know, that one right there.
Sela hesitantly points to the Fisher Price Baby Sounds white baby doll.
That one? Are you sure? What about this other one? This one looks more like you. It has your same skin color and hair. And if you get this doll, everyone will know she belongs to you and that you're her mommy.
But we don't have the same skin color and I'm your daughter, right?
That's true, but I'll get you two of these black dolls if we leave this other one here.
No,
But why not?
the doll I want is prettier and good. She's a good listener. Those other dolls are mean and ugly. And I can't do their hair. It's too curly and not long enough.
What? Oh my God. We don't have time for this. I'm sorry, Mira. I can't. Fine. I'll get you the three dolls.
Feeling depleted, Sela buys the three dolls. Mira has a wonderful birthday party and enjoys receiving many gifts, but she enjoys her blonde hair, blue-eyed baby doll most of all. That doll holds a special place in Mira's heart. It's such a shame that the white doll managed to mysteriously disappear only 2 days later, leaving Mira with the twin black baby dolls that she came to accept eventually.
Thank you. So memory has an important function in this story. Having the memories in Roram, but they actually happen in Retuo. So just really quickly, Roram is the name of the mirror world. So it's mirror spelled backwards. Wasn't my most creative moment, but that's Roram. And Retuo is outer world, like the world that we're in right now. Retuo, outer spelled backwards. So the memories give them the info they need to escape Roram. The key to unlock the portal home is in the memory. So this next scene, the year is around 1985. Um, this is called the Mama Doll Memory. Sela and Mira are leaving Sela's manager's home. The manager is Karina. Um, and just yeah, they're leaving her home after being invited over for dinner. What messages may Mira be receiving from Sela? These are some questions I have, for people to think about. What is Sela teaching Mira about how to navigate her potentially hostile world? And importantly, this is not to blame Sela, but to wonder where and how did Sela learn these lessons that she is now teaching Mira for how to safely exist in her skin. Mama will be played by Brenda. Sela will be played by Christina, Mira by Brendan, Karina, who is a white woman and Sela's manager, will be played by Anna Lou, and Sarah, uh, a white girl, Karina's daughter, will be played by Josue. Uh, and action.
Grandmama's demise sends Mira into the Mama doll memory. Mira was not a doll baby person. She never played with Barbies except to pull off their limbs and heads, dismembering their plastic bodies. Sela secretly hoped this meant Mira had the productivity to be a surgeon and not a serial killer that could put people back together again, especially after falling from grace like Humpty Dumpty. Knowing her child, Sela was very surprised by Mira's reaction when she received two, or was it three, Fisher Price baby soft sound dolls. She hardly ever let them out of her sight or put them down. The dolls had short, curly afros, brown skin, soft bodies, with a voice box that was inserted in the back and then fastened with Velcro. The voice box that took one 9-volt battery made the dolls say, "Mama, I love you, and please take me with you." Mira cared for those two dolls almost as well as the homeless teen moms for whom Sela provided temporary shelter over the years. In this memory, 4-year-old Mira and her mother visit Karina, Sela's manager's home for dinner.
Thank you for having us over. We had a wonderful time.
Mommy, I forgot my baby doll. The girl has my baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sarah, can you bring Mariah's doll, please?
No, it's my doll. She can't have it.
You know what? That's okay. Mira, you have two of the exact same dolls. Look, you still have one doll in your arms. Since you have two of them, you can handle parting with one if you would make this other little girl happy, right?
But they're twins. They can't be apart.
Hila, are you sure it's okay if Sarah keeps it?
No, I want my doll. I love her so much, Mommy. She needs me.
Mira, stop crying. That's not nice. Don't be a rude, spoiled brat. If you loved her that much, you wouldn't have forgotten her.
But
Nope, no buts, Mira. They invited us to their home, and we had a wonderful time. This is a small token of gratitude.
she's my baby.
Stop embarrassing me. Karina, I'm so sorry about this.
No, it's fine, Sela. I promise. We'll keep her safe and take very good care of her.
Karina bends at the waist to come eye to eye with Mira, and in the sweetest voice she can conjure says,
What's the baby doll's name, sweetie?
Her name, her new name is Mariah.
Thank you. Thank you. At my thesis advisor's suggestion, on November 7th, I organized 6 2-hour table read sessions on Zoom between November 8th and 12th. These sessions became an invaluable part of my revision process. They provided honest insight into how my work was landing, what resonated, what confused, what provoked, and what inspired questions. The first group on Saturday was particularly direct. They told me bluntly that some of the dialogue felt unrealistic to them. One reader said, "The dialogue didn't work for me," and explained that the scene did not reflect his experience. He added, "What Black mother says, whoopsie?" In that moment, I realized the irony. One of the central themes of my work is that Black women are often denied the freedom to express the fullness of their identity because someone is always policing what does or doesn't count as authentically Black or feminine. Too Black or not Black enough, or too strong or not strong enough, are central themes that I explored. When my friend and reader shamed my character's expression, he reenacted the exact dynamic I was interrogating. My intention is to create work that fosters critical consciousness and healing. I want audiences to ask questions like, what assumptions am I carrying? How would my life have been different if I had been allowed that softness, that playfulness, that freedom? The next day, he and I spoke again and had a thoughtful, generative conversation. That moment affirmed for me the purpose of art, to start conversations that otherwise might never happen, to open a doorway into difficult truths, and to inspire reflection that leads to action. My hope is that he and others will think twice before shaming someone for simply being themselves, and that this shift will ripple outward into how they treat people in their own lives and communities. This is how art builds better worlds. So the only constant for my work is the belief that it must be a work of socio-political edutainment, creative art with civic purpose. During Dr. Lamar Wilson's seminar on radical revision, I came to see that all my writing across genres centers the theme of violence against Black women and the search for healing. As Malcolm X said, the most unprotected, neglected, and disrespected person in America is the Black woman. My creative work explores that reality across levels, psychological, interpersonal, structural, and spiritual, through storytelling as counter-narrative and ritual. In this next snippet, we will hear from Sela and her best friend and cousin, Sydney. They are having a private conversation about many topics such as grief, poverty, romantic relationships, health inequities, job issues, stereotypes, parenting, belonging, stress, etc., during the same night of Mira's 10th birthday party when she wishes for good hair. The characters, so Mama will be Aunt Sheila, Sela will be Christina, Sydney, Jaylene, and I'm doing sound effects. Okay, and let's listen in.
While the girls are upstairs having fun, Sela, Mira's mother, and Sydney, Cleo, and Neff's mother are having a good time of their own, dancing and singing along to the oldies jams from the 70s. After two sing-offs and a few dance breaks, they relax for a moment at the kitchen table.
Music really soothes the soul, but I need a break. Let me catch my breath.
Do you have a light, Sela?
Do you have to smoke a joint in my house?
Really, Sela, I don't know how you do it.
Do what?
Have no vices and not go insane. You don't smoke, curse, or drink alcohol, and not even coffee? Jeez, do you have a talisman in your back pocket or something? How do you walk upright anymore?
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Sometimes this world makes me feel like a faded reflection or something. I don't know. Like I'm invisible.
You feel invisible with all your degrees, nice house, and high-paying job in corporate America that pays for you to travel all over the country?
Absolutely. And it's exhausting. I'm either too black for white spaces or not black enough for black spaces. There's no sense of belonging. It's impossible to navigate and keep your sanity. Did you know I once walked into a boardroom meeting and was pulled aside by my boss because some white lady from another department said my presence was intimidating her? My very existence scared her. I was simply breathing. I just can't. It's always been this way ever since I was a child, and I'm exhausted. I need more energy.
I know how you can get some more energy.
How?
White women bowling.
You like to watch white women bowl?
Hell no.
With a quick thrust of her hips, Sydney pushes her chair back from the table. She stands up and acts out her story.
You know how I like to go for walks in the morning to keep my blood pressure down? Well, I notice that when I'm walking and some white women are walking toward me, I always get out of their way. I move to the side to let them pass. Sometimes I even step off the sidewalk, onto the grass, or into the street with oncoming traffic. I stepped in dog shit and risked my life to let them pass in comfort. And you know what they said to me?
What?
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. No thank you or anything. They didn't even acknowledge my presence. I was the invisible woman to them. After the last time, I said to myself, Sydney, you stop that shit. Let's see what happens if you don't step to the side. So, the next time I saw these random two white women walking toward me, I held my ground, and then bam, my shoulders crashed into theirs. I split those bitches like snake eyes.
Well, that was real sapphire of you, don't you think? You just confirmed for them that Black women are angry, aggressive, violent, and mean.
Oh, wine pouring into the glass.
No, it's called Fierce Fury. It's such a double-edged sword that they would not hesitate to stab us in the back with. If I fell, they'd walk right over me. We're not expected to give people the shirts off our backs. We're expected to give them our bare backs to walk all over. I am not a doormat, and my back is not a bridge to your pot of gold, you leprechaun motherfucker.
Well, if you're going to be a bridge, then be prepared to be stepped on.
Black women are underpaid, undervalued, overworked, overexpended, extended, and exhausted. The life of a black woman would make for an excellent horror action movie. First, you get the rug pulled out from under you while balancing bricks and juggling nuclear cannonballs. Then you do some kind of somersault and land on the tightrope over a bottomless pit that somehow has rushing water with crocodiles and sharks in it. And you manage that while having poisonous darts spit at you, and then you stick the landing in a man-made quicksand pit. And then everyone gets mad at you because you didn't thank anyone for the soft landing.
I guess when you put it that way, we have to be whatever we need to be to get what we need to get. It's fair play in this rigged game of life.
Seela retrieves the wine bottle and caps it before Sydney pours herself a third glass. Then she pours herself her favorite drink to relax after a long, hard day, a glass of pineapple juice and a seltzer water.
Thanks. So I'm looking at the time, and I think we will try to get through this one more scene, and then that'll be it for our reading. And I just want to get through this one because one of my favorite characters is the Light Queen. And she taught me that clarity comes through writing. I may not know how all the dots connect, but if I keep writing, the dots will show me the way. For example, when I first drafted the Light Queen, I couldn't understand why the main characters were treating her with such hostility. In my mind, the characters would initially listen to her, become intrigued by her radiance, and only later recognize and reject the false light and promises she offered. I tried to force the characters to be kind to her. I tried to make them gentler and more receptive, but the scenes refused to cooperate. It wasn't until weeks later, after sitting with this discomfort, that I realized what was happening beneath the surface. People who occupy marginalized social identities are often well trained to recognize and resist overt assaults on their humanity. What tends to slip under the radar are the more subtle, internalized forms of dehumanization we've absorbed over time. My characters were quick to fight the external Light Queen, and they felt righteous in doing so. Yet they were completely unaware of the internalized Light Queen shaping their own beliefs, insecurities, and betrayals of self. This is why the Light Queen kept returning despite their attempts to vanquish her. The external figure was only a projection, a mirror image of the internalized version they had not yet confronted. They could not vanquish this apparition without uprooting the part of themselves that created her. This dynamic is a vivid example of how my creative writing and my critical radical social work practice inform and strengthen one another. So one fun thing to note is that the Light Queen's entrance is accompanied by the sound of popping balloons and the smell of burnt popcorn. And her usual greeting is "Heidi ho!" You won't get to smell or hear her because we're entering the scene after her. Um, oh yeah, and just about every character is in this next scene. So it's a snippet from episode 4, scene 2. There'll be references to characters and plot that you may not understand, but that's okay. I mainly wanted to share this snippet to show the Light Queen and her interaction with the other characters. So Mama will be Jaylene, Seela, Christina, Mira. 5 years old will be Brendan, Grandmama Brenda, the Dark Queen, Sheila, Light Queen and Assistant Principal Bianca Anna Lou, Assistant Principal Ezra and the White Rabbit, Ben, parents, Jaylene and AJ, Alexis, Ziamara, and sound effects, Alexis, Red, Josue. Okay, let's go for it.
Mhm.
Oh, Light Queen.
This food looks scrumptious. What is this? Big Mama's House Sunday soul food brunch?
The Light Queen begins helping herself to all the pickings. At first, she takes small, dainty bites, but then she begins to ravage the food in a ravenous rage. Her mouth seems to grow and stretch to the size of her face. She stuffs her face beyond recognition. Food spills from the corners of her mouth. She soon becomes aware that she is the center of attention. She wipes the food juices that have coated her hands onto her beautiful white gown, leaving brown smudged tracks.
Pardon me, where are my manners? I didn't have breakfast except for those 2 Slim Fast shakes.
That's it. You're the no breakfast lady.
Excuse me? Did you just call me a cafeteria worker?
As tensions rise like baking bread, Shadows begin to pour from Sela's pores.
What's happening to me?
Your soul wound is opening, and the shadows that you've swallowed are escaping.
What does that mean?
It means let go, dear heart, and let us witness the rupture.
Grandmama touches Sela's forehead. Sela finds herself in a familiar scene. She seems not quite herself, but close enough to hurt. Her skin is dimmer, her eyes sunken. She stands too straight, like she's been holding herself together too long.
Grandmama.
Oh, is that me? It's okay to fall apart. We will be here to pick up the pieces when you return.
School bell rings, children laughing and crying, parents saying bye and have a good day.
In this memory, Sela has just brought Mira to her primary school. Mira is in kindergarten. Assistant Principal Bianca has the face of the Light Queen. She is outside on the front stoop of the red brick school building, greeting the children as they come into school in a straight single file line. She wears a light pink skirt and jacket set with pearls. Parents stand within earshot waiting for the last look over the shoulder of their mini clones. Most of the time, that look never comes as the children gallop inside to play with their friends.
Hi, Joe. I like your haircut. Timmy, it's good to see you this morning. Hi, Amanda. You're going to have a great day today. Hi, sweet.
Her name is Mira.
Thanks for that, but we don't yell on school grounds.
What?
Assistant Principal Bianca waves her hand in the air as if to say never mind, but looks more like she's trying to swat an annoying mosquito. She then turns her attention to Mira.
Well, you just made it before the late bell, bringing up the caboose, I see. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, no, that's not good. Is that lady in the oversized sweatsuit your mommy over there?
Yes.
We give her breakfast every morning, okay? Breakfast gets those neurons firing so she can learn.
The area around the school becomes a pressure cooker, tense and still. The crowd of parents hold their breath, and all eyes shift to Sela. Sela's whole body braces for emotional and psychological impact.
Excuse me? What did you say?
Don't get angry. I'm only trying to help. Come on, Mariah. I think I have a healthy apple just for you in my pocket. Yes, there, here it is. You can have it. Now, take my hand.
No, do not reprimand me in public like I'm a child. If you have something to say to me, you can ask if we can speak in private. And to be clear, I know how to parent. I know what should be done. I have a PhD, a law degree, and 2 master's degrees. I don't need you to educate me on anything.
Okay, please calm down. It's not a big deal.
You're right, it wasn't a big deal, but you just made it one. If you had asked my child instead of just making prejudiced and racist assumptions, you would have found out that she usually has a very healthy breakfast. This morning, in particular, when I asked her what she wanted for breakfast, which I do every morning, she told me she wasn't hungry. If I would have made her eat breakfast and stuffed it down her throat, then that would have been abuse, and you would have had Child Protective Services knocking down my door, taking my child from me.
Now that's ridiculous. You're going way too far.
Overhearing the commotion outside his office window, the assistant principal, Ezra, a handsome black eligible bachelor, comes to de-escalate the overheating situation.
Is everything okay out here?
Her daughter by giving her something to eat so she wouldn't be hungry.
You gave that child food without her caregiver's consent?
Don't you dare take that tone with me. And you better not take her side, undermining me like you always do in front of them and behind my back. I'll write you up for insubordination.
So take your pompous, sexist, and racist opinion that I don't know how to appropriately care for my child in your high acidity, judgmental tone and shove it up your ass.
I am not racist. I'm a good person. I was raised to love all people. I don't see color. I have a black assistant principal, for heaven's sake.
Assistant Principal Bianca is highly offended and starts crying. Tears pool in her eyes until they spill over her bottom eyelid onto her dewy, blushed cheeks, creating winding streaks. She clutches her pearls, pushes the assistant principal aside, and runs inside the building.
My daughter's name is Mira, not Mariah.
During Sela's tirade, the other parents edge away, giving her a wide berth, covering their children's ears and walking in circles around her so as not to come in the line of fire. Sela and Mira lock eyes, and there are the first specks of shame and disgust rising in Mira's view. Those specks stab Sela like projectile daggers with pinpoint accuracy. Mira follows after the crying assistant principal Bianca, chasing the trail of long blonde hair like it's the yellow brick road to a better place in life. On the lonely walk back to her car, Sela avoids eye contact, but she can feel the greasy eyeballs of the other parents stuck to her back. She also hears their whispers. Wow, she really lost it.
Did she really have to say all of that? That was inappropriate.
She should take her own advice.
Yeah. She just said that assistant principal Bianca should not yell at her in public and should speak to her in private. And then she goes and does just that, yelling at the woman in an unprofessional manner at her place of employment. Tisk, tisk.
Yes, you have to learn how to speak respectfully to people in a way that people can hear you if you want to be heard, if you want people to listen, and if you want to be understood.
They're both women. Women should support each other, not tear each other down.
That makes us, all Black mothers look bad.
We're always losing our shit at the most inappropriate times.
Years later, Sela will read the words of Patricia Hill Collins. Oppressed groups are frequently placed in the situation of being listened to only if we frame our ideas in the language that is familiar to and comfortable for the dominant group. This requirement often changes the meaning of our ideas and works to elevate the ideas of dominant groups. However, without being armed with this knowledge, the silent weight of stereotype and social exile falls on Sela. She drives for a bit toward her next destination. Then she pulls over and sobs, silently at first, and then the screams come, shaking her body to its core.
What do you need to heal, Sela?
I need others to stand up for me, to stand with me, and to say you are not crazy. And you're damn right that was an attack. You were under attack, and you had every right to defend yourself. And we support you. We have your back, and we will hold them accountable with you. There has to be a community for healing ourselves and each other.
Here in Roarim is where you will find that community, Sela. I've created exactly what you're looking for. This world can shield you from the harms of Rituro. I can provide it to you. In your memory, there were Black women parents there who aligned with the Light Queen.
Again, that wasn't me.
Those souls are here in Roarim. Would you like to confront them? Morwawa, bring those women to me.
The Dark Queen uses her shadow puppet to hunt them down. Before Sela can answer, the women from her memory are standing before her. They look terrified.
What do you need to say to them?
Why didn't you help me?
Morwawama, devour them.
Snake hissing and striking screams.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. That's what I call soul crushing.
They were already lost souls. There's nothing that could have said that would have been enough. Rule here with me, Sela. Stay safe in my house. The world outside will devour you.
Like what just happened. No, Sela, you belong in Rituo. Embrace the light, not the shadow. With just a few tweaks to who you are, a little voice modulation, shave those unruly chin hairs, and some lip gloss, you can not only survive, but thrive.
Sela begins to understand if the Dark Queen is trauma's prison, the Light Queen is systemic oppression's gilded cage. The queens embody structural forces. One clings to shadow for safety, the other clings to false light for control.
Dark Queen, you've taken over from Asana, but you're still trapped in the kitchen.
Oh, snap. Them fighting words. Any wagers?
You are so naive. The kitchen has a long lineage of being a site of not only care and love, but also power, resistance, and cultural survival. Our recipes were created in dark times, and they carry ancestral memory and ancient healing practices. This world is the embodiment of that lineage and wisdom. I don't remember inviting you into my house.
I'm gonna pause because we are at 9, Eastern time, 9:19. So, it's almost to the end of our time together, and I want to make sure that if there are questions, we can ask questions. So I thank you to my readers. I really appreciate you stepping in and doing such a wonderful job.
Yeah, that was amazing. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, take some questions, Alexis.
Are there questions? Well, maybe there are no questions.
Is there some way
Hi.
we could read the whole script?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
I was wondering if there's a way we could read the entire script.
Oh,
I'd love to read what we've not been hearing.
yeah. Well, woo. Yes, one day. So I still want to make changes. I still hear things, and so I'm still, it's still, I think it still has a few more drafts, but I would love for you to read the whole script. Yes. Uh, one day. And I'm sorry we couldn't even get through what I had planned for tonight. But time goes so fast. But Olivia, I thought I saw you unmute.
Yes, this was incredible. I really appreciate it. And I maybe you mentioned it, but is this nonfiction? And then also for you, knowing that it sounded like it was nonfiction, how was the writing process for you in your own healing, being able to tell your story in this kind of like mirrored way, if you will?
Yeah. So yes, I would say that it is inspired by some real life events, but fictionalized as well. Like, I didn't stay complete, like this is not a memoir, obviously. But definitely inspired. And yes, I think for me, I think this is part of the healing process for me, but I also think I had to do some healing in order for me to be able to write it, if that makes sense, for me to be able to reflect on it and be able to put it out there. Um, there was a time when I couldn't read that hair story without falling completely apart every single time. So I have just recently been able to get through it and without crying. So that tells you how raw it is for me. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your. So my writing process, yeah, I think I loved being inspired by true story or real life events, but then being able to fictionalize it in a way that gave me some buffer, some padding. Um, yeah.
We have some
Thank you.
questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Uh, hi Alicia. Have you noticed any changes in yourself the more you reread the script? Um, I would say, gosh, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I am like this whole process has changed me. Writing this, and we have to do a craft essay or a process essay along with the thesis, and I really explain a lot of that, how this has changed me, and how I've been changed through the writing process. So, absolutely, I can't really pinpoint the changes right now, but just I think just being yeah, I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought, and I'll be happy to. We could get lunch and have a conversation. Any what?
Jennifer also says, what made you decide on this medium instead of traditional novel?
Yeah, great question. So this is a audio drama. It's supposed to be an audio drama, which means you only hear it there. And I'm a very visual person, so this was extremely hard for me. My thesis advisor had to keep telling me they're not going to see it. They're not going to see that. So you have to, take that out. That description or whatever, I would say something, and that's not going to be seen. So the reason why I decided on this medium was because I just thought that if I ever had a chance to produce something like this, an audio drama would be much easier, more accessible than a play where you'd have to get space and, set and everything. But also, an audio drama is more accessible to people, and it's just, a wider and more diverse and audience can access something that's on the radio or on as a podcast than in a theater. So it was also kind of democratizing art and allowing more access to a wider population. But I am thinking about, like, is this the best format for this? Maybe it does need to be on the stage or in some other kind of medium. I don't know. Are there other questions? Okay, I don't, if I missed your question, you can shout it out. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you.
Alexis, I have one more if you want to take it.
Sure.
It's Laura Voigt. Hi.
Hey.
Also, Leslie Green asked who's your favorite cousin, so you might want to make sure you address that. Um, I'll tee up my question and you can answer whichever ones you want. Um, I'm sure you will hear from all these people. You are so talented, Alexis. It is such a privilege and an honor to just be invited to see this work that you have put together. It is layered and it is authentic and it's original. And I genuinely look forward to its like ultimate publication. I love audiobooks, by the way. And so I think that this, I think it's a wonderful avenue for it. So thank you for the invitation, first off. I look forward to like telling and asking more, like learning more about it. But one thing I just wanted to say and ask to hear your thoughts on was I thought it was so clever hearing how you came up with the twin girl in the mirror. I'm sorry, I apologize for all the different names. Willow was her name. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I thought that was so clever, such a clever way to really grapple with so much that is, probably going through this young girl's spirit. So I guess I would love to hear, I think you teed it up a little bit, would love to hear you just talk more about how that came to you and what kind of like how it freed your storytelling from there. I would love to hear that.
Oh, thank you, Laura. And I just have to mention that Laura and we belong to like a dream space together. So a lot of this, being able to have the courage to do this came from that space. So, okay, that I wrote when I was 15 years old, that story. So it goes way back. And it really, how do I explain? It allowed me to see the situation from an outside, like from the outsider perspective, but simultaneously from what was going on inside. So I guess it allowed me to externalize what I was dealing with, and that was very helpful. Yeah, that was just very helpful for me to process, what I was going through at that time. And when I was in high school, I mean, I was a very justice oriented person, and I was, I understood racism to the degree and everything, but I didn't really have language for internalized oppression or so I could see it from outside, but the Willow character allowed me to externalize that internalized oppression and to be able to then grapple with it. So I don't know how, I can't really remember how it came to be, but I guess it was just my subconscious kind of, creating that for me as a way to grapple with my own internalized oppression. Yeah. And I will say that I have to say that my favorite cousin must be Leslie at this point because she came to my reading, my table read, and I have not seen her sister, Natalie. I don't know if Natalie is here, but so there you go. Leslie, you are my favorite cousin.
Not
Alexis,
surprised.
that was amazing. And yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight. And yeah, I'm so glad like 2 years ago I got to see, the origination of this piece and I've gotten to see it through and I'm just really excited to see how far it's come. Yeah, everyone have a wonderful night and yeah, send Alexis your congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to, before oh yeah, thank you. Good night, everybody. And I wanted to say, this was my closing remark. What was it? It was, okay, yeah, I want to be known as this. The pen is mightier than the sword, and having been a fencer, I can attest to that. Now,
Yeah.
and I just
Congratulations.
Brava.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We love you.
love you all.
Congratulations, Alexis.
Thank you. I want to make sure I can send the chat before I get kicked out.
Yeah, look at all those people who are fans.
Yeah, thank you, Lord.
Love it.
How do I don't know if I can save it.
You also have some questions in there that weren't answered if you want me to put them all in one thing.
Yeah, can you copy it? Like you were able to copy? Oh, I think I could copy.